Today we are going to discuss the 39th Amendment to the Indian Constitution. Under this amendment, we are going to cover what was the historical context of this amendment, what was the purpose for the introduction of this amendment, what were the key changes brought in through this amendment, how this amendment impacted the governance of India, and what was the future course of this amendment. So the historical context for this amendment was that in 1971, Mrs. Indira Gandhi won the general elections, but her winning was challenged on grounds of electoral malpractices, that she has used unfair means to win this election by Raj Narayan in the famous Raj Narayan versus Indira Gandhi case in Allahabad High Court. And Allahabad High Court declared her election invalid, which sparked a constitutional crisis. So Mrs. Gandhi, to retain her position, she declared emergency and introduced this amendment. So the purpose of this amendment was to shield the elections of the Prime Minister, President, Vice President, and the Speaker of the Lok Sabha from judicial scrutiny, which means that the elections of these positions cannot be challenged in any court. And most importantly, this amendment was brought in to nullify the impact of the Allahabad High Court's judgment, which ruled that Mrs. Indira Gandhi's election was unconstitutional. So this amendment was brought in the year 1975, and the following key changes were made through this amendment. New article 329A was inserted into the Constitution, and this barred or prohibited courts from questioning the validity of elections of key constitutional positions, including the Prime Minister. And this amendment also retrospectively validated Indira Gandhi's 1971 election. When something or some laws are brought in, they have generally an implication for the future course of action. But when laws are retrospectively applied, which means that the past events, they can also be influenced. So due to this amendment, the election of Indira Gandhi in 1971 was also justified, because the court has or had no power to review the election of the Prime Minister due to this amendment. So what was the impact of this amendment? So this amendment weakened judiciary by curtailing the power of judicial review. This amendment has also triggered democratic backlash from the people who believe that this amendment was an assault on democratic principles. So what was the future course of this amendment? This amendment was reversed by 44th Amendment Act of 1971, which restored judicial scrutiny of elections, reinstating the balance between the judiciary and the executive. So this was the 39th Constitutional Amendment Act of 1975, and I hope this amendment was very much clear to you.